We still are looking at violation of human rights, but we are now going to move to Asia, more specifically Pakistan. The title is Pakistan, notably the situation of human rights defenders and the death penalty.
I would like to turn your attention to the fact that Pakistani government is doing a crackdown on Twitter and Facebook to discover the identity of the users of these platforms so that people can be charged with blasphemy and possibly be sentenced to death.
We also have to criticize the act against blasphemy, which has been mentioned several times during this meeting. It is aimed against freedom of speech, and if Pakistan wants to remain a partner of the EU in the future and have a privileged position, it has to cease abusing human rights in their country. Thank you.
On behalf of S&D Group, Madam Nina Gill, take the floor, please, 1 minute.
In 2014, the EU allowed Pakistan access to GSP+, an exceptional tool to help kickstart the economy and crucially encourages progress on improving human rights. It has proved its value in many countries, but I question whether this is the case in Pakistan. A delegation of the Parliament visited Pakistan in April, and from our meetings with government officials and civil society, it became glaringly clear that a lack of rule of law permeates Pakistani society and human rights are violated instead of advanced. In March, military courts that can try civilians were reinstated for 2 more years. Basic rights of foreigners brought to trial are trampled on, with no access to consular rights. People who work for NGOs face harassment, arrest, or worse, death. How many people are on death row under the vague blasphemy laws? We do not know because there is no transparency. Anyone going about their business can be accused of blasphemy, who are then lynched by mobs. Those who belong to vulnerable groups like the Ahmadis live their lives in fear with no democratic rights, yet the government fails to protect them. It is high time to see real progress on human rights and strengthening of civil judiciary in Pakistan. If not, GSP Plus has to be reviewed. Thank you.
And now, Deputy Amjad Bashir, 1 minute, take a floor, please.
The urgent resolution on Pakistan is regrettable, misguided and misleading. I stand against abuse of human rights wherever it may arise, but such grave allegations as these should be based on fact, not fantasy. The despicable crimes detailed are just that, crimes against the law of the land. They are repugnant to the majority of Pakistani people and condemned by the government. To suggest that the state is behind them, has condoned them, or turns a blind eye to them is simply not true. And this Parliament will demean itself if it supports the resolution. Interestingly, the text makes no mention of an AFET delegation to Pakistan last April, when we were welcome to raise any thorny issue we chose in the presence of senior government authorities, opposition parties, NGOs, think tanks and civilians, unlike similar trips to India. Pakistan relies on our help to deliver on human rights and rule of law, and as a genuine ally and economic partner of the EU and the West. This resolution sends the wrong signals altogether.
Thank you, Mr. Bashir. Do you accept blue card from Madam Grappini? Yes, okay. Madam Grappini, take a floor, please. 30 seconds.
Domnule președinte, stimate coleg, o să fiu foarte scurtă, nici nu folosesc.
Colleagues, just very briefly, I don't want to use my 30 seconds, I'll just be very quick. You think it's some kind of fantasy that there's the death penalty here, that this is not real? You're talking about people not actually being killed here. This is reality.
Time for your answer, Mr. Bashir.
I would like to say that I'm against the death penalty, but if you mention the death penalty, how many times have you criticized one of the biggest proponents of the death penalty, the United States of America?
Mr. Bas-Belder, 1 minute.
Thank you, President. I have a specific question I'd like to put to the Commissioner. I've seen a great deal of documentation about intolerance in the Pakistani teaching system, discrimination against minorities, particularly Christians. Are you aware of this documentation? If you do, will this have implications for EU funding for the Pakistani education system? Lots of schools, in particular madrasi, Islam schools, discriminate against Christians. I would like to make it very clear that the Commission should respond to that. Thank you.
Dank je wel.